Hey everyone, what if I told you that you have been taught to do something all wrong and you didn't even know it? Today I'm going to show you how to put an overwrap on your paddle, and I'm not going to say there's a right way or the wrong way. I'm going to let you decide. I have a pirate way to do this. I've been modifying handles for 5 years now. I do a lot of modifications for people, and I put on tons of overwraps. The overwraps I'm using is going to be the Wilson Pro overwraps. You can see them in the description below. But let's get into the way you have been taught to do your overwraps. Even the #1 player, Ben Johns, I'm going to use his paddle to show his way of doing it. He did a video on this. This is the way he showed you how to do it. And I'm not going to say he's wrong, but let's see what you think about my way versus his. All right, so the traditional way that you have been taught to do an overwrap is you take the overwrap, and just a small note on grip size. When you grip a paddle, you want about 1 finger length between your fingertips and the palm of your hand. If it's way over here, that is too big for you. If it's way over here and your fingers are touching your hand, that is way too small. So you want to make sure you get the right grip size. A lot of us don't like the stock grips. The Yola grips are pretty good. They feel pretty good. They feel pretty tacky. They absorb sweat. But a lot of times you want to put overwraps on, sometimes 1 or 2 overwraps if you have overly large hands. So the way that you have been taught to do this is you start here at the bottom with the sticky part, and you put the sticky part here, and then you wrap it around the handle, and you gradually go down till you get to the end. And you want to make sure you don't have any gaps in here or any loose areas or flaps that might bother you. And then you slowly wrap. See how I'm taking this? I'm slowly wrapping it. I'm making sure that I'm staying right in the grooves here. And I'm going to go all the way down the end of this paddle. And the way Benny does it, he takes it all the way up till he gets just under the name here. And if you do it wrong, look, just unwrap it a little bit if you want it to go longer, and then come down a little bit further in the gap to make the gap a little bit smaller. And then you're going to wrap this as high as you want to go. I'm doing it the way Ben does it, which is all the way up here into the handle neck, all the way up just underneath the Yola name here. You take your overgrip wrap here, your sticky part, and you wrap this around. Now, couple problems with this method. One, your fingers are going to touch this gap. See, it's got this gap here. It's not clean. When you go up in through the neck here, it's hard to pull this taut, so you got to pull it real tight. I didn't do a great job there. It could look better there, but you see how high this comes up, and you see how this doesn't look very clean. So this is the way the handle looks, and obviously I could tighten this up a bit so there would be no gaps here. But one of the things I don't like about this is with your finger out here, you can feel this gap, you can feel this mark here, you can feel where this overlip is hanging, or you have to take a pair of scissors and trim it to make it taper so it looks clean. All right? So this is the traditional way. This is the way you guys have all been taught. Let's check out my way. All right, so I'm going to take this Diadem Warrior. I'm going to take the traditional way, and I'm going to flip it on its ear. I start my paddle wraps at the bottom with the flat part. Multiple reasons I do this. One, because when I get this first wrap around here, I can then just do the exact same thing I did on the other one. I'm just going to take this and I'm going to wrap this all the way down to the end, exactly like you just saw me do. Take this, make sure it's nice and clean, that I'm filling the grooves here. And you can pull tighter or looser. The more tight you pull, you can make this a little bit thinner if you don't want it super thick. But I'm going to go all the way down to the end here, exactly the same way I just did with the Perseus. But now, because I've got my sticky at the end, I can now just stick it. Look how clean that looks. If I put my overgrip wrap on here, I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it right on here, and I'm going to wrap this up like this. Let's compare these side by side. You got this way over here with the overwrap going farther up, and then the Wilson part of it just barely holding everything together. You got this lip here. It doesn't look clean. And then you got the Pirate's Way. Look how clean that is. And you can take it up higher. I could go all the way up to the diadem sign here. You know, depending on how thick I want this overwrap, I can put this all the way up here, or I can cut it shorter on this end. But the thing I like about this is that you can see where I started over here. There is no real thing that I can catch on my hand that feels different. So even Ben said he holds the paddle and he finds which side feels the best. When you do it this way, both sides feel the same. You can flip the paddle around and it doesn't change the way the paddle feels. This is the way that I love doing my handle wraps. You can see that it comes off a lot cleaner, a lot smoother, and you can do this yourselves and it doesn't fall off at all. Right? And we don't have any of the overlip here. That's my story. That's the way I do it. I hope you guys like this. And if you want to figure out how to do lead tape, I've got a good lead tape video right here. Yeah. I talk about all the different positions of the lead tape, where to put it, the different effect it has on your paddle. Check it out.